Is Paddy the Baddy the most overrated fighter in the UFC? He is not a champion. He is not even ranked. Still, more people know the name Paddy the Baddy than most names on the UFC roster. I guess that should not come as a surprise though. After all, he is an entertaining fighter, he's great on the mic, and he's even sponsored by Barstool Sports. It also helps bring attention to his name that the man gets so fat, it looks like he hasn't done a physical activities in 10 years when he is not in fight camp. Then when fight camp comes around, he starts looking lean, he looks jacked like a straight killer. While I don't think that Paddy is a bad fighter, I just can't say that he's elite in the UFC. Marketing wise, the man's sitting at the top of the fight game. Before we get to the negatives, let's touch on some of the positives, because it would just be simply ignorant to ignore them. Most importantly, Paddy has tremendous Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is a black belt and was seen in this video making Marines tap one after another after another after another. But that's what most jiu-jitsu black belts can do to normal people. He can be creative and find unorthodox submissions, or he can focus on traditional submissions like guillotines and rear naked chokes. In addition, he is great at taking the back, which helps him finish fights. The most unique aspect of Paddy's skill set is his finishing ability. This was something that really stood out against Jordan Levitt. In my opinion, this is the most impressive thing about Paddy. He has finishing instincts that really just cannot be taught. Lastly, on the feet, the Baddy has solid kicks. He throws good roundhouse kicks to the body and mixes in leg kicks and head kicks really well. This really helps him do damage and control range. Plus, despite his flawed technique, Paddy does throw powerful punches. And after all those compliments, you were probably like, damn, the Baddy sounds like he's the truth. But one of his biggest flaws is his striking defense. The Baddy really depends on his chin to overcome flaws in skill, and that could end badly. He was hit hard and was hurt big time against Rodrigo Vargas, who is 1-3 in the UFC. At a minimum, getting hit like that will result in falling behind on the judges' scoreboards. At a maximum, he will eventually take a shot that his chin just cannot absorb. Imagine taking a shot unprotected against a guy like Justin Gaethje. He's gonna be sent dreaming. One aspect of the Baddy's poor defense is that he relies on power to be effective with his punches. In turn, it leaves him open to being hit with counter strikes, as skilled strikers can see his punches coming. We all saw what happened when Aljo tried to throw a haymaker against a sniper like Suga. This is a component of Paddy's raw and undefined offensive skill set. Paddy also depends on judo heavily when he's grappling. Judo is great, but when you only have judo and you're going against a skilled wrestler, that can be a problem. While I have to say, Paddy is one of my favorite fighters. His YouTube channel is great and he is so funny, but I don't see him making any real noise in the UFC. That's a deep division. He'd have to go through guys like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Islam. That division is so stacked. Unless he makes some serious improvements, it's going to be very difficult for him to even crack the top 10. He can always go to other divisions, but who knows? Based on Paddy's YouTube channel, the man seems very happy where he's at. I mean, he's rich, he's got a big fan base, and he's in the UFC, which is something that most people in the world just can't say. But as far as being overrated goes, yeah, I'd have to put him at the top of that list. To be known and talked about as much as he is and not even be ranked, that is impressive. But at the end of the day, he's making more money than most fighters in the UFC, so he'll be okay. And if you made it this far, thank you for listening and watching the video. If you want me to see any videos on any particular fighters, comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one.